So, you're in the cereal aisle. It's a quiet, sensible Tuesday. You're debating between the healthy granola and the one with the cartoon vampire. Then, it pierces you. A high-pitched, glass-shattering shriek that seems to bypass your ears and vibrate your actual bone marrow. You look over, and it's a 3-year-old who's just been told that, no, they cannot have the marshmallow blasts. Every fiber of your being wants to run in the opposite direction. You feel your blood pressure spike, your palms sweat, and a weird prickling heat crawl up your neck. Why? It's just a small human being making a noise. But to your brain, that noise is a biological red alert. Today, we're looking at why children, the literal future of our species, are engineered by nature to be the most annoying entities on the planet. We're talking about frequency weaponization, boundary dissolution, and why your child-free peace of mind is constantly under siege. Let's start with the sound. A child's scream isn't just loud. It's a precision-engineered acoustic harpoon. Research shows that human screams, especially those of toddlers, occupy a frequency range called roughness. While most human speech is a smooth, pleasant wave, a scream has rapid fluctuations in volume that target the amygdala, the brain's fear center. So you cannot ignore it. You're biologically incapable of tuning it out like you do with a hum or a dull conversation. Evolution did this on purpose. If a baby's cry was pleasant, like a lo-fi hip-hop beat, our ancestors would have left them in the cave while they went to pick berries. Nature made sure that the only way to stop the alarm in your brain is to stop the alarm in the child. When a kid screams in public, they're effectively kidnapping your nervous system. Now, let's add a layer of modern social friction, the negotiator. We've all seen the parent standing over a screaming toddler in the middle of a Target, calmly saying, "I hear that you're feeling frustrated that you can't buy the $40 Lego set right now. Can we use our words to describe our big feelings?" Meanwhile, the toddler is currently attempting to phase shift into a puddle of pure rage. This creates a cognitive dissonance for everyone in a 5-aisle radius. We've evolved in tribes where social correction was swift. Our brains expect the chaos to be shut down. When we see the negotiator treating a temper tantrum like a UN Security Council meeting, our justice circuit glitches. We aren't just annoyed at the kid, we're annoyed at the inefficiency of the process. We're witnessing a one-sided conversation with a person who literally hasn't finished growing the part of the brain that understands reason. It's like trying to explain the tax code to a golden retriever while it's mid-zoomy. As adults, we live by a strict social contract. We don't touch strangers, we don't ask why your breath smells like onions, and we certainly don't stare at people until they feel uncomfortable. Children have zero social hardware installed. They are boundary dissolvers. They ask, why is that man's head so shiny? They touch the sticky part of the bus seat, and then they try to hold your hand. They have no concept of proxemics, which is personal space. This is a cognitive mismatch. Your brain treats a stranger invading your personal space as a threat. But when it's a child, your logic center tells you to be nice, while your lizard brain is screaming, "System breach!" This internal tug-of-war is the definition of annoyance. It's the friction between your social training and your survival instincts. Why are they always moist? Whether it's jam, glitter glue, or a mysterious substance X, children are the primary vectors for sensory contamination. For many people, the annoyance isn't just the noise, it's the threat to their physical integrity. This is the disgust response. Evolutionarily, we are wired to avoid things that are sticky, slimy, or unidentifiable because they usually mean bacteria or rot. Children haven't learned contamination awareness yet. They're a walking biohazard in a Gap Kids hoodie. So when a kid approaches your clean white pants with a chocolate-covered finger, your disgust circuit overrides your empathy circuit. It's not hate, it's immune defense. Let's talk about the specific hell of the seat kicker. You're on a 6-hour flight. You finally settled into your 6 inches of personal space. Suddenly, thump, thump, thump. A 4-year-old behind you has discovered that your spine makes an excellent percussion instrument. This triggers the looming effect. Humans are incredibly sensitive to movements coming from behind them. It's an ancient defense mechanism. So because you can't see the attacker, your brain stays in a state of hypervigilance. You can't sleep, you can't read, you just sit there waiting for the next thump. It's a form of intermittent reinforcement training. The kid isn't even trying to be mean. They just have short legs and a surplus of kinetic energy. But to your brain, you're being slowly tenderized by a tiny, uncoordinated meat hammer. So why don't we just ignore them all the time? Kidding. It's because of something called Kindchen schema. High foreheads, big eyes, chubby cheeks. These are biological cheat codes that hack our brains into releasing dopamine. The annoyance you feel is actually a reaction to the cuteness tax. Nature knows they're annoying, so it made them look like Pixar characters to ensure that we don't drop them. The frustration arises when the annoyance level exceeds the cuteness quotient. If a kid is screaming, but they aren't your kid, you haven't been hacked by their specific DNA. You're getting all the software bugs, noise, mess, chaos, with none of the user benefits, hugs, tax credits, someone to carry you when you're 90. So then why? Because the sky is blue? Why? Because of the atmosphere. Why? This is the inductive reasoning loop. Children learn by testing the limits of a system. But for an adult, repetition is a form of psychological torture. There is a reason we use repetitive sounds to break people in interrogations. Our brains are designed to find novelty. When we're trapped in a loop of why, or watching a movie for the 400th time, our brain enters a state of neural fatigue. The annoyance you feel is actually your neurons begging for a new stimulus. You aren't being mean, your brain is just trying to reboot. At the end of the day, we need children to be annoying. If they were quiet, polite, and easily ignored, they wouldn't survive. Their annoying traits are their life support system. They force us to pay attention. They force us to protect them, and they force us to grow a much thicker skin. So the next time you're on a plane with a kicker in the seat behind you, just remember, you're witnessing a masterclass in biological persistence. They aren't bad kids, and you aren't a bad person. You're just two different versions of the human software, clashing in a very high-stress environment. One of you is trying to sleep, and the other is just trying to see if they can kick hard enough to reach the clouds. If you've ever survived a 3-hour flight next to a crying baby and lived to tell the tale, hit the like button. Subscribe for more deep dives into the weird, sticky, and loud parts of being human. And tell me in the comments, what's the most publicly embarrassing thing a kid has ever done in your vicinity? I'll see you on the next one. Stay patient, stay sane, and for the love of everyone, invest in some noise-canceling headphones.